Fumble. Hi, my name is Melanie Green, and this is my rookies on the putting green.
So what drill are we working on today?
So I call this Birdie-Par, and I know a lot of other players probably have other names for it, but basically, the white tees and the green tees are set up at, birdie and par putt length, right? So today I just have it super close. So par putts are 3 feet, and then I just made the green tees at like 4.5, 5 feet. So yeah, obviously start on a birdie putt. You miss a par putt, and then you're over par, and that's just it's not a good look, So yeah, basically, I'll just make the first one is usually how I'd like to start. But anyways, so basically how it goes is you say, okay, I'm gonna keep putting until I get to like 5 under, and then that feels like a completion. Yeah, so for me, it's almost more reps than anything. You see a lot of girls out here with, the Dave Pells and like putting boards and stuff like that, or rulers for like start line stuff. But this is, for me, more of like a, watching yourself make a bunch of putts, right? So, sometimes, especially during practice, like practice rounds, and even, just before the tournament, I've just started this thing where I'll actually look at the hole, and I'll like kind of what Jordan Spieth did a long time ago. But I'll look at like the target, right? So like if I'm going left center, like I'll pick a spot like on the ring of the cup, and I'll look at that and I'll putt, and I feel like it kind of loosens things up, even though I missed that looks bad. You're gonna have to edit some of this out, Isaiah. No, but basically when you start looking at where you want the ball to go, you're less focused on like, okay, I need a perfect backswing or a perfect fall through or whatever the case is. So it makes yourself a little bit more athletic over the ball, which I like. So, but this is kind of like a newfound thing that I'm doing. So, I think I'm even because whatever. Obviously I went to school at USF, and then my senior year, graduated May, and then waited a few months. I actually had a really fun summer, so I was busy. And then, first stage happens in August, and then October, and then December. So is the final stage of Q school. So I lucky enough, I made it to third stage, and then obviously once you get to third stage, you basically have full status out here. So yeah, that was my route. My favorite amateur memory. I would say the British Am was probably a good memory to think back on. The 2024 British Am, got the job done there over in Ireland, so that was fun. So that was probably the most recent, and I guess the biggest highlight, I guess. Yeah, I think my favorite part, on days on weeks where it's 4-day events, right? I think my favorite part is from Thursday to Sunday. I like to play tournament golf. Like I enjoy playing the practice round and stuff like that, but it gets, tedious, I guess. You're just doing the same things over and over again. And then, once you get, a scorecard that you got to turn in at the end of the day, I think it just adds more drama to the week, I guess. So it's fun. Hardest adjustment, let's see. Well, so obviously in college, everybody knows, the coaches are like your managers, right? They help you on the golf course, but here's the thing is they're like our parents, kind of. Like they take us to the golf course, they book our hotels, they book, everything, right? Like we don't have to pay a tournament fee or any of that stuff, right? So they take care of all that, and so I think, now it's more in our hands, right? And I have awesome parents, and they do it like they did in junior golf, right? They kind of take care of me and make sure I don't have to worry about that stuff, and then I can worry about this stuff, right? So that's probably the biggest thing is just figuring out accommodations, where you're gonna fly into, if you need a rental car, all that stuff. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. But I mean, junior golf is almost kind of similar to this, right? Like you're week in and week out, you're seeing the same faces. It's like a little family out here, right? So yeah, that's the biggest thing is probably this is what everybody says, you have your own time to make your own schedule. And if you're good at it, you'll enjoy your life. If not, you're gonna be bored.
So what's the coolest thing that you've done in your downtime so far this year?
Coolest thing I've done in my downtime. Well, I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually enrolled in Bible school. It's at the River of Tampa Bay Church, so it's in Tampa, the church that I go to there, and so I'm enrolled. I'm actually a Bible school student as well, but I get a lot of grace because they're done with the quarter, and I'm on the previous quarter still. So, there's a lot of, there's 4 classes every day. They take, almost an hour, so if you add that up, all the days that I'm on the golf course, it takes a lot of time, but I enjoy it. It's the best. Learning more about the Bible, learning more about Jesus. I mean, that's my passion. Other than the golf course, that's the main thing for me. So yeah, that's the fun thing that I do. But there's a lot of players will try to say, okay, this week I'm going to do one thing outside of the golf course that kind of takes your life away just from going to the golf course every day, right? So whether it's going out and having a bite to eat with some players or friends or locals or whatever the case is, but just doing something outside of the game that, just takes your mind off of things, I guess. That's a birdie right there. Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody's goal is to get their card for the next level, right? Going into, just looking on past results and stuff like that, I feel, pretty good as to where the future is headed, so that's great. But obviously I'm in a spot now where I have a little bit bigger target on my back, right? So keeping it and honestly, really the biggest goal was getting my card. And then I'll make some more goals for out there. But as of right now, I didn't really have too many goals per se, wanting to win a certain amount or, coming in top whatever finishes. It was more just, doing the best that I can do, really on every shot and giving yourself the best chance for success. So, yeah, basically just keep the same things. I don't feel that I need to add more goals just because where I am right now, because that's not what got me here, right? Don't change it if it's working, right? Don't fix what's not broke.